What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nerd After Hours. I know it has been a hot minute. Carissa has been having technical difficulties on top of
No internet.
health issues and all that stuff. I have also had some technical issues too, so I think by the time you actually got Wi-Fi back, I was having Wi-Fi problems, so.
Probably. That's how it works. Well, also last week I thought that I think I had like the flu, but they would only test me for COVID and I know I didn't have COVID. So it was I had something, but who knows what it was. I was
Yeah.
incapacitated. But,
Ugh.
you know,
Also, I hope you guys don't mind I'm eating while I do this because I'm hungry.
do it. Who cares?
Somebody's gonna like that. They're gonna be like, yes, Brian, eat more.
I've done
So
that all the time where I'll grab chips or something like while we're doing things cuz stage.
well, you said you wanted to show something, so let's
Yes.
let's let's start with that.
Okay.
This will be exciting. I'm
So,
interested.
Miss Grumpazoid here, who has been very pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, she is no longer pregnant because
Mm-hmm.
somebody last night surprised us with 5 babies.
Mm-hmm.
So, here, get a good look at all of them. We got
Oh
this
my
little one.
goodness.
This one's a light colored calico tiger. She probably has the most interesting markings. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna grab your babies for a second, temporarily. They're very quiet. Got a little polka dot one
Oh
that's
my
mostly
goodness.
white.
How many litters is that now
They are.
from her?
Oh gosh, for her, I think 3,
Oh
if
my
I remember
god.
correctly. This one's just a normal tiger. Looks a lot like her son Mittens. Like
Mm-hmm.
same little gloves, just has white on its face instead of being solid tiger. Mittens
Carissa,
is
are you about to? You're almost a pet store by yourself.
oh my gosh. And this is a very light colored calico. Let's see, that's 4, so just need the last one. And then this one's another mostly gray tiger, but it's got a spot of orange, so cuteness overload. Once she's more so okay with me handling them, I'll take cute little pictures of them and stuff and ooh goo
Mm-hmm.
gaga. But for now, she's still been kind of in the face. She hasn't even fully finished cleaning herself off. She still has like some stains from the blood, so
Ew.
be a little more hands off. But yeah, I have the 2 adult female cats, Mittens, who's a teenage male cat now, Carolyn's 3 kittens, and now 5 more. So that's 12 cats altogether in the house. So
You're gonna have a very
and my
large.
ferret and my fish pirate. So yeah. I usually don't charge people for the kittens when they ask, but I'm gonna be just sort of honest about like, hey, I'm trying to get the cats fixed. It's really expensive, like so you don't have to, but if you could just kind of donate just for that because as much as they're all adorable, I can't keep having a house full of cats, especially if I at some point plan on moving to the city. Not a great
You have a
situation.
you have a PayPal, right?
Yeah, well, I'm more so meant for like anybody who's taking them since like if you can afford to have a cat
Mm-hmm.
anyways, or just cat food or something because that's the problem with me is I have a hard time
Well, I,
getting rid of the cats half the time. Both,
I don't know who
yeah,
all will see this, but if you guys want to
yeah.
donate, I'm gonna put Carissa's PayPal somewhere around here.
Mm. I
Well,
mean, luckily, since I qualify for like poor people stuff, a
mm-hmm.
clinic nearby, if I get all the paperwork approved, I can get it for like 150 per cat. But even for me, that's a lot.
There's
So
a here down here in Texas. I think there's a thing where you can get it for like $20.
I know with male cats it's different, but because I have girls, it's like a little bit more complicated. But I gotta get them fixed. I've been having because I can't keep them inside and they just keep knocked up like that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, it is nice having cute kittens all the time, so it's a give and take process. But
But you still gotta get
I'm
homes, and then you get depressed when you have to give them homes.
that's the thing. It's more upsetting having to give them up because it's like I can't own all these cats, especially if I don't have my own place. And yeah, I don't think my parents so much like the fact that I have animals in the house 24/7. But I'm a pushover. Yeah.
You're just like they're so cute.
They're all so cute. And it all started with their grandma I took in when I was still in high school. And then she had a kitten and they had a and it's just this endless cycle. And the big problem is right now there's going to be a lot more inbreeding, especially if I don't get him fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So that's been a whole fun escapade, but still, cute surprise, lots of
Mm-hmm.
babies. Um, yeah.
Well, okay, so I guess well that's cool. We got cool cats. Now let's talk
Mhm.
some nerd stuff. You got a Bogart or whatever got some VR stuff, right?
Yeah, so that's been fun. I'd only played VR a couple of times, but now I'm like learning to use it because I have
Mm-hmm.
it set up in my room. So I'm gonna try to get into like VR Skyrim and a few other games set up. I'm hoping eventually when I actually have like spending money, I really want to get some of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, but there's one that's VR especially, and I've seen a lot of gameplay. It looks really fun.
You kidding me? If I
Um,
played that thing, I'm gonna be screaming and peeing everywhere. It's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, I have to do it in small doses because my brain's still not used to it, and it gives me like a wicked bad head rush, and I find like I'll be getting into it. There's quite a few horror games on there that I've been playing, and it really trips you out a lot more. Cause there was one where you're literally walking around this like abandoned mansion, and like all these little things change, and yeah, it's definitely a pee pants worthy game. But I haven't gotten into too much of it because he literally, I had to help him set it up yesterday and I was about ready to go crazy because I had to like find my tools and stuff. I have no idea where my drill went, so I had to just give in and do it hammer style. But,
Dun, dun, dun.
and then I had
What's
wood
that?
pellets flying in my eyes and then I started crying. And then I had to find my safety glasses. And then once I found my safety glasses, he already put it up for me and I was like, well, I mean, thank you, but also I finally got my safety glasses so I could. So it was a fun whole ordeal, but everything's set up now. Surprisingly, I haven't broken a breaker, but it's really weird for me because I'm used to having like a 2010 laptop
Mm-hmm.
and a phone, and that's the epitome of where I am technology wise. But now he has all his stuff set up here, and it's a lot more. It's a lot more. It's cool, but also like I'm not used to it. I feel, I don't know, like a peasant sometimes, like walking around like so this stuff I've barely ever used before.
I know how you feel. I felt that way when I got my iPad for the first time because
Yeah.
you know, because this thing is really powerful, and
Uh huh.
the big thing that I really love is the drawing app because
Right, because you can actually like do
yeah,
pens and stuff.
yeah, I can draw, I can do Photoshop. That's what this is. That's basically what I was doing. I was using it for like a Photoshop thing because
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I know how you feel. It's like for the longest time, I had a cell phone, I had a laptop, and now I have this big ass machine, and I got this now. It takes a little getting
Yeah.
used to.
And it's like I don't know. It feels it's like a little bit of jet lag in a way where it's like really nice, but it's weird having everything upgraded so much. Like I didn't think I would ever have a VR setup where I could just use it whenever I wanted. That
Right?
was like the epitome of rich people technology. And now there's one in my room and I feel like somebody's grandpa currently where it's like, so how do you do this, Sonny? Oh, you can just show there's another button on it. Like
That's
it's
literally how I felt about the iPad. I'm not even kidding.
yeah,
I'm like,
it's bad.
how do I use this thing?
I'm hoping I'll like get better at it, so I'll actually be a little bit more of a competition. But I don't know. I'm also afraid he's gonna leave for Staten Island, and then I'm not even gonna be able to figure out how to use it, and then it's gonna go to complete waste on my bum. So we'll see.
No, it's just gonna
It's
take.
definitely it's really neat. I'll have to fix some of it because like I don't know if I set it all up properly. Like whenever I try to do the bow and arrow thing,
Mm-hmm.
it glitches and like tries to throw the bow across the room, and it's really annoying.
Um, well, my advice to you is don't be afraid to Google things.
Yeah,
That's the number one thing. Don't be
I'm
afraid
not
to
the I'm
Google.
not the brightest crayon in the box, so you got to remember that.
Yeah, just and also YouTube tutorials are amazing. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. There's a lot of the editing tricks you guys have seen me do in like my Yu-Gi-Oh videos, especially the skit stuff. I learned from Google and YouTube tutorials. I'm not even kidding.
yeah. I'm definitely still an old man when it comes to stuff, but I've been enjoying myself. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Um,
Sometimes you
It's
gotta
nice
just.
having like somebody else around who like knows this stuff and can show me how to do it. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's nice. I got internet back, and now I have like a whole thingamabobber set up. So I'm definitely haven't been bored in a very long time.
There you go. There you go. That's a win. I've been I don't know. I've been doing a lot of like research and stuff like that on things for like behind
Hmm.
the scenes because I'm trying to catch up because like you have a platform where you can make money.
Hmm.
We won't discuss that one here, but you have one platform where you can make money. I'm working on one for me.
Hmm.
Not in the same vein as you, but you
Aren't
know,
you, you're doing Patreon still, right?
yeah, that's
Or
the
you were
one I'm.
going to?
That's the one I'm working on. Yeah, it's still in construction because of course the day I decide to work on it, all of my internet goes. Nyeh.
That's always how it works. I definitely feel you there. For a while, when it came to the other platform I did, it was really annoying because um, I was having trouble getting switched up because I've been starting a new job, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even though I had another job lined up, trying to get the paperwork going through and all that so I could actually start working wasn't happening. And at the same time, the internet went out. So my other form of income, I had no way to work on it. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
like try to make as much stuff as possible. And then when I was at somebody else's house with internet, 'cause of course you can't go on there at a
Mm-hmm.
public business because it's blocked, obviously, because nobody wants
Spicy
somebody
pages.
looking up lewd content in the Burger King for some
Right.
reason.
Right.
Um, so I have to just awkwardly, discreetly like hide my phone and try to, but also like not put up complete crap because like nobody wants to buy low quality stuff. Of course, it's like if I would just go get free stuff if that's the case.
Yeah.
So I had some trouble with it, but since the internet's been back, I've been trying to like get back at it,
Yeah.
and it's slowly getting there. It's hard because it's like I'm not getting great hours yet at work, and then that, but as long as I have my internet going, it should be safe. But yeah, for a
It's
while
kind of a balancing act
I
right
didn't have
now.
internet, so I couldn't work at my second job, and my other job I couldn't get a hold of anybody to start work. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I'm just gonna start working and then save up a butt ton of money so I don't have to deal with this ever again.
Right. And I'm just I figured like this is the year I need to get some form of income coming off of my internet shenanigans because uh you know my it's just I need to if I'm gonna try to seriously do this as a job I need to figure out some kind of way to get money. So I figured I would
Ugh.
start a Patreon, and it's not and for the people who happen to see this, it's not for this channel. It's for my Yu-Gi-Oh one. That's the one that's more
Uh-huh.
successful. Although I think I might have another way to put more content on this channel,
Mhm.
because I've been getting a lot into D&D,
Mm.
and I'm actually thinking about doing my homework, taking some time to do my homework on it, figure out how to be a dungeon master in the game, and then get like I could work with you and other content creators and play the game.
Start doing online.
Yeah.
I actually am working on trying to set up like Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering, like that type of stuff, the computer version, so that
Oh.
I can start doing that. I'll be honest, I'm a dunce and I haven't figured it out yet, but now that I actually hopefully will have reliable internet for the foreseeable future, I wanted to start doing that. We'll see, because that might be fun.
Yeah. Well, I can help you with the Yu-Gi-Oh one. I know.
Yeah.
I already know the one you can do. Or if you want to wait a little while, I think at towards the tail end of next month, the Konami, the company that actually owns Yu-Gi-Oh, is going to be releasing their own official simulator, which is going to have
Oh.
more. Yeah, they're going to have their like the one I play on is a community based one, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they use Konami's rulings for the most part, but they don't. But Konami doesn't own that one. Then Konami's going to have their own, where of course it's going to have a like a very much like a pay aspect to it, but they're all, or you grind. That'll be the two ways to get your cards. You just grind through the game, or you and there'll be there's like verses and things like that. So single player, multiplayer, etc. You can wait for that one, and that one will be free, but it's going to be very much like a cell phone game where it'll have like
Oh.
microtransactions, that kind of thing. They'll have all the official rules. You'll have access to the cards, and you get to play. And I think it'll be very much like, you'll play with players around your level, and as you go, you can play more competitively.
Hmm.
So, If you want to wait, it's going to be a free to play game. That's going to be the appeal of it.
Is the other one not?
Yeah, oh, they both are. They both are. It's just the one
Okay.
I play on is you have full access to all of the cards, right?
Mhm.
But you only play against real people. You know? So
Yeah, I could see that being annoying if you're still just trying to learn how to do games.
exactly why I'm
Because
suggesting you
that's the
wait.
thing. I can kind of try to do like the actual card game, but for me, it's a lot harder for me to figure out because, at least for Magic the Gathering, when I've tried doing that, it's a lot of doing math in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and my brain just shuts down and I start wandering. So
And with Yu-Gi-Oh, we
it
have
was a lot
bigger
easier on the
numbers.
computer because it just shows you what your options are and then you can pick them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, with
yeah, I
Yu-Gi-Oh,
prefer
we
it.
play with bigger numbers. Like we have monsters with like 3,000 attack points, and we literally and life points are at 8,000 instead of like 20, like in Magic. So
Yeah. It's all like tomato tomato to me because I'm
mm-hmm.
so unfamiliar in both. But I've been trying to get more into stuff because the older I get, the harder it is to spend time with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously my friend Miriam, she's married. Johnny works nights, so I barely see him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Carolyn, when she's not in the hospital, she's usually in college. And same with Bogey, he's like almost out of state most of the time. So I've been
Yeah.
trying to get into learning to do different online games that my friends do so I can have a way to do something with them even if I
Mm-hmm.
can't actually go over to see them. And I'm still really illiterate, but I'm baby steps,
Yeah.
baby steps. But
Well,
I
I'm
always
in
think
the.
that's like some of the most fun is like especially with like online chat rooms and stuff
Mm-hmm.
because it feels more like you're actually with them rather than just like um I don't know. I don't have a good example. I don't know if you're just talking on the phone or something. Because
Yeah.
you have to like usually are like doing separate things, but when you're doing that, you're doing it together. So it's like
Yeah.
yeah, more
I
connected.
yeah, and that's the thing I'm thinking with this post-COVID world. I think that this is going to be because lately with the with the pandemic stuff going around. I mean, we've had the virus has gone down and then spiked, so it's like I think
Yeah.
that it's just a good idea to go ahead and start having like remote hobbies. And plus, like, truth is, one of the reasons why I want to do the D&D thing is because a lot of content creators I want to work with don't live in here in Texas with me,
Yeah.
so it's just smarter for me. And to be honest, I think I'm getting more friends like via like social media and online, like people who I've never actually met in the real world. Like I have my best friend, but he doesn't really play the games I play anymore. And
Yeah.
with COVID, I don't see him as often, and I'm sure he's terrified because he's already barely survived COVID once, and so I haven't seen him in a couple weeks, which wasn't unnormal for us. We would go 2-3 weeks without talking to each other, and then we'll
Hmm.
hang out the blue, and so it's just I don't know. So I'm thinking about learning how to be a dungeon master because I'm at this point I'm thinking it's the only way I can make friends
Yeah.
online with especially with
Yeah.
other D&D content creators because the truth is I think everybody wants to be a player, nobody wants to be the DM. So
Oh, I don't know. I've been trying to learn it because actually it's one of the few games the majority of my friends are really into it. I think
mhm,
Carolyn is my only friend who doesn't actively play D&D. No joke.
yeah.
Even like the friends I see maybe once every few months are all very heavy into D&D and the concept of it I like. I love
The role
role play,
play, yeah.
medieval. I'm the costume girl, especially in my family. I have more than one medieval gown. I think I would be into it, but for me it's still like trying to learn how to play. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And I really want to learn though because I feel like that would be the one thing everybody would have fun with.
The,
Speak of the devil.
any excuse, really, just
Yeah.
any excuse. Like D&D has everything. It really has everything. They have
Hmm.
I was looking up all the playable races and stuff. They have like all these different kinds of people you can be.
Uh-huh.
They've got like dragon people, they've got bird people, lizard people,
Oh god.
all different kinds of humanoids like dwarves and elves and gnomes and fairies, and you can literally play it pretty much as almost all of these kinds of characters. And like I think you can even play as a werewolf, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
there's like, you can't play as a vampire technically. You can play as a Dhampir, and then like
Really?
vampirism is, yeah, it's not actually something you can play as. Like you can't, like, as a playable race. You can have the vampire curse affliction on you.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I
Yeah,
get that. I
yeah,
feel like vampirism being a genetic thing opens up some
yeah.
floodgates. It's
Um,
the Renesmee pipeline again.
yeah, the way from what I've been reading about it, with the way they do vampires in Dungeons and Dragons, is vampires are strictly the monster that the players fight. And
Hmm.
then of course you can have your heroes become vampires throughout the story, but usually in the campaign they don't start that way. And there is a way around that, and that's to play as a Dhampir, which is half human, half vampire. Um,
Gotcha.
that's where my character William comes from on my TikTok page.
Hmm.
He's like the character who, like, oh yeah, I was born a Dhampir and ascended or descended depending on your point of view. And then of course also vampires, like when you go full vampire, one thing I read online was like that your alignment changes, so you're automatically in the evil category most of the time.
Hmm.
There are workarounds for that, but for the most part, there. And what I read online was it's because the vampire has no soul, so becoming a vampire means your soul goes away. So it's like it has all your memories, but it's like all your morality is gone. And from what I read, something like, for some, if your character was a good guy, like lawful good or whatever from the start, and became a vampire, it could take him some time to fully turn dark side. Um, but eventually, like that's what happens. Is what I was reading
Hmm.
online, and I'm going doing all my Google research. So that's. But yeah, to get back to the main point, Dungeons and Dragons just seems like a very interesting thing, and like you have all these alignments, you have all these different like jobs, and then of course you can also do like subclasses and things like that. Like you start off as a wizard, but like you want to be but you don't want to be like the weakest dude in the party, so you, like, when you get to a certain level, you're like, okay, cool, I'm now gonna also train a little bit in fighter, and now you're a wizard who can, fist fight people. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then of course, like, also each of the races have different advantages too. Like, there's like a bird race people, they can fly from the get go. They because they have wings. So if you play as one of those races, you get to fly. Whereas like somebody who's like a wizard or something, or a magic user, would have to cast a spell to do that. Um, and then like orcs and I think there's some other races, but like orcs is an example of one that's like really physically strong.
Hmm.
So it's like there's it's like, so it's, each of them have their advantages. It's really fascinating stuff, kind of learning about like what you can do. And then of course a lot of people just kind of pick, from what I've been seeing, a lot of people pick like a lot of the humanoid races. They're like, oh, I'm going to be a halfling, an elf, or a dwarf, or a human. A lot of people usually pick those, but because those are probably the most popular. You know, but it's a fascinating game. So learning how to DM is going to be hard. I very much think that if I can pull this off, I will very much come up with a very simplified version of the game to try to, you know what I mean? Like novice
Hmm.
DM, I'll probably have novice players for the start, so I'll learn as much as I can, make a simplified version of it, and try to make it fun.
Somewhere Bogey helped me build a character. I should show it to you, but I remember he had to go online to look up subcategories because I was very insistent that I wanted to be a fire fairy, and there wasn't even a fairy category in the book. So it's like, I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
that's an option. I'm like, well, that's what I want to be. So I had to look it up and then say, well, you can't technically have fire powers, but you can have this subsection, which would give you fire powers. I'm like, okay. So I ended up choosing to basically be a fairy who can make fire, and I get out of situations by seducing people. That's my thing.
I wanted to be a vampire, obviously, so I
Well, that
will.
was a big joke for me when we had our little tea party as a kid where we were mythical creatures. I was always a fire fairy, and I'm just like, I'm not changing that.
Oh
No,
yeah.
that's my thing. I'm not changing now. So
Oh yeah. But it seems like a very fascinating game, And also, one of the other things I really like about it, like, and you and I think Bowie can also all relate to this. We are all thespians. For those
Hmm.
of you at home who don't know what that is, it means we're all theater kids. It's the adult
Oh
theater
yeah,
kid.
he gets so into that stuff. It's like he becomes a completely different person. It's really entertaining because he's usually, for the most part, unless he's like with close friends, he's a very like serious, mild mannered person. And then
Hmm.
you get some kind of theater thing out, and he starts like singing and dancing and making these expressions and flaring his arms, and it's
That's
really something.
that's what I'm excited
It's
about. That's why I want to learn how to DM because the one of the things I've seen. Do you know who Thomas Sanders is?
no.
Okay, well that's okay. You don't have to know who Thomas Sanders is. All you have to know is he has this thing. Oh, what is it called? I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad here. Thomas Sanders. Just need to go to his page. He's got this uh not the music. I just need his page. He's got his own D&D thing he's started doing. Yeah,
Does
it's
that have to do with me, my brother, and me, or is that something separate
yeah.
altogether?
Thomas Sanders. It's called It's called role slaying with Roman.
Role
It,
slaying with Roman.
yeah, it's I think it's only on episode 2, so if you actually want to catch up on it, you can. But it's like, yeah, it's like literally 2 episodes. So
Does he have like red hair and pale skin and blue? No, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of
he's
someone
the
else.
Storytime Vine guy.
Oh, he does D&D.
Yeah,
Well,
he
that's
just
all you had to say was he does. Yeah, I know who that
yeah,
is. I'm
he's
not.
the
I don't live under a rock.
yeah. I was trying to think about because I couldn't remember what he was famous for before YouTube. That's what I was trying to like. What is I know
I've
he
never seen any of his YouTube stuff. I
yeah.
only know Vine.
Actually, I love his YouTube stuff. He does. You'll like him too. He's very cause as a gay man, he's very LGBT friendly, and he talks about stuff from
I
a
forget
gay.
he's gay.
Yeah, he's it's definitely not the forefront of his character as a person, is it? You know what I mean? He's not a very what's the word?
Flamboyant.
Yeah, he's not like he's not stereotypical as like media in the 90s portrays gay people. But that's cool. Thomas Sanders is it seems like a really fun guy, and I really like his content. I've watched it for several years. He's a very likable person, content wise.
Seems like the type of person you definitely want to hang out with.
Yeah, and he's also very inspirational for me as a content creator.
Hmm.
It seems so like I kind of want to do the same thing, but with my friends and with other D&D content creators, because like I do make content already for Dungeons and Dragons, as for TikTok, but it's just me playing my character who actually was in a one of. Like I only got to play him in a game once, and I was just there for one time, one meetup, you know, because I got booted out of the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament early, so and my buddy was still playing, so I was like, well, shit. So
No
my
fun.
ride home was still playing, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go play Dungeons and Dragons until he finishes. So that's what I did. And not knowing anything about Dungeons and Dragons, which was the most fun I've ever had, they had me roll dice to figure out my Dampier vampire character's stats, and I kept getting high rolls, and they were like, he's level 1, and he's the strongest guy in the party. And the rest of them were like level 8. It was hilarious. So I was a one-time character who was basically, Hercules. And that's the inspiration for William for TikTok. He's the finished product of that one-shot character the one time I actually got to play. But yeah, I'm really excited. I really think I'm going to seriously consider learning how to be a dungeon master, because the point I was trying to get to is like Thomas Sanders' show, rolling with Roman, or role slaying with Roman. Excuse me, I can read. The cool thing the DM gets to do is he gets to act out all the NPCs if he wants to, which are the non-player characters. So there's kind of a way for the DM to get to play. So that means I'm going to put William in there as an NPC. Y'all will meet him. He will be the guy giving you information somewhere along the lines. You know what I mean? Any excuse to put on my vampire fangs. But the cool thing is, I will also get to play as other characters, and then I get to do my voices, which are like, you've watched my skits. I do all sorts of crazy stuff. I
Oh
can,
yeah.
for the eyes, let's see here. I can do the an impression of the Doctor from I think it's Phineas and Ferb. I can't remember.
Oh, what is his name?
Yeah,
I know
then
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, the guy's always fighting Perry the platypus. Oh my!
Classic.
I bet you didn't know I could talk like that. I can't wait. I'm gonna definitely. There's gonna be at some point that will be a bird person who will talk like that because it'll be funny.
Sweet.
Do we have a cat friend coming to visit?
No, I thought I finally got it to exit out, and then I accidentally brought it back in. I thought I was going to finally be able to fix whatever thing I did to the game, and I did not. So, don't mind me. I got excited for a minute, but I fixed nothing.
It's okay. It happens to me all the time. But like, there's all sorts of cool things. Like, that's gonna be one of the other fun parts for me is that I'll get to practice voice. It's just like, I could be what's his name, like Gimli or something, for a character. I'd be like, never thought I'd die side by side with an elf. Or I could make like a Smeagol-like character, like, no, not again, no. So it's gonna be just fun for me to like, and then like I could have even more ridiculous characters, like when it practices accents and things like that. Like, what if you had to meet like a pirate or something? Arr, get on me ship, you scallywags. It would be fun. That's the fun. See, I got a few acting chops. At least, and guess what? The best part is I don't have to wear a costume if I don't want to, and I won't have to put on makeup that'll be racially insensitive. That's an inside joke, by the way. No, I have not done blackface. Just in case anyone's asking.
Cancelled.
I know, right? To be fair, it's not like anyone taught us different in my small town in Texas. I had to learn that one in my adult years.
Excuses.
Except the sad part is those aren't excuses. That's all legitimately true. They didn't teach us shit here. If it wasn't for the internet, I'm pretty sure I'd still be like all the other idiots around here.
Boom, 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 boom.
The internet probably saved me as a person.
I feel that. I don't want to be another version of me, but I would love to like just be able to peek into an alternate reality and see the version of me that's like wearing head coverings and jean skirts just to see what she's up to, just shake her hand and be like, "Do you know what you're doing right now?" and have her horrified when she sees my non-existent hair,
See, you want to talk to that version of you? I want to talk to the one who didn't learn all the BS I grew up learning. That's what I want to see. I want to see the guy who see the potentially amazing person I could have been had I just grown up and been taught correctly from the get-go.
I would love to see what kind of person I would have ended up if I didn't grow up being homeschooled, because I feel like that would have changed such a giant part of my personality, especially since
Same.
I would love to find out if I have the ability to do math, And I wonder, like, could I have been the type of person who got, like, fully paid scholarships and stuff? Like, it's amazing. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could have been, like, a fairly successful person if I had had a different childhood.
Now we're talking multiverse theory.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I try not to think like that because I don't want to seem like ungrateful for what I do have, because also my life could have turned out way worse than it did.
Yeah.
And I know
same.
quite a few people have it a lot worse than me. And I would say, like, right now, my life is almost perfect. So I really should shut up,
We're going to knock on wood for safety. But yeah, like...
I don't want to ever, I feel like Pollyanna. Let's play the glad game.
Yeah.
Would you let me snuggle you?
There is definitely a... Yeah. I really need to be... I also need to be like that, too, to be honest with you, because, like, at least I did learn a lot of those lessons, you know what I mean? I can't... I didn't stay on team bad guy forever. That's... it's just kind of like, it's a depressing thing to think about. Like, oh my God, the things I thought and said as a young person that I thought were okay. It's like, oh God,
Yeah, I had some fun. So we had my family's Christmas this last Saturday, right? And I'm just talking to my nephew, and he was really upset that I had short hair, and he'd seen me with short hair before, but for some reason, like, I think it was alarming to him because I also wasn't wearing makeup that day because I haven't really felt like putting on makeup in a while,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I and this little kid, he's probably 3 or 4. He's young. Just
Mm-hmm.
because he can talk doesn't mean he's like a solid human yet. Let's just say that, you know.
I understand that.
Um, and he started questioning me like on if I was a boy, and I was like, or if I was trying to be a boy, and he went in a very transphobic rant, and I could tell he was just getting something from his dad, and then he was going, and then after he went done with that, he's like, also, girls have to be with boys, and boys have to be with girls. You can't. And I was thinking like, oh, geez, like, it just makes me so frustrated because I'm like, I love my siblings, but I'm like, why don't you just not drain this stuff into kids and let them like slowly step into that and not worry about it? And now like you're having to talk with him because you just insulted your aunt's looks and called her masculine. But also like he probably wouldn't have had such a misconception if he wasn't like trained in his brain to, worry about gender stereotypes so much. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
always frustrating to me because I feel like, until I feel like it's more important to help them learn critical thinking rather than stereotypes, and that's just the big thing I see.
yeah, yeah,
It's so frustrating, but
yeah. That's the other thing is like, oh man.
he's naturally such a nice kid, and it's like he's gonna end up with such backwards. But I'm like, what if he goes into public school and he starts yelling that to one of his other classmates? Like, oh my gosh, like you're
Oh,
gonna turn him into a bully without meaning to, you know?
yeah. I knew a guy like that in high school. Actually, I actually almost got into a fight with a freshman my senior year in high school because I was like, I mentioned that I didn't care if gay people got the right to get married. Not
Oh
even,
god.
yeah, because like when I was in high school, Barack Obama was, I think he would just gotten elected like the year
Oh
before I
really?
graduated or something like that. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, something
that
like
makes sense.
that, or I can't remember, or he was running. I don't remember, but the point is I was about to graduate and Barack Obama was talking about legalizing gay marriage across the entire country, and I was like, you know what? I don't really care. I got some gay
Mm-hmm.
friends. They seem all right. They seem like good people. That didn't stop me from saying homophobic shit. Don't get it twisted. I was a dumbass back then
Yeah.
too. But I used to like say, "Oh, I just wish they wouldn't hold hands in public." Like dumbass. Yeah, I was an idiot back then.
Gosh.
If I could go back in
Straight
time, I would
people
slap
do
me.
not understand PDA. It's
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, PDA was kind of like discouraged all around where I was at, but for LGBT people, it was worse. You know.
I always find that logic so obnoxious to me because like I can definitely say like it's completely normal to just see like a straight couple making out on the sidewalk. So like, why are you caring if some gay people be holding hands? Like, it's none of your business.
Yep, you're right.
You
Yep.
guys, you guys are constantly shoving it down people's throats, and
Yeah, that's yeah. Once I had a gay friend of mine point that out to me, I was like, oh, well, yeah, you know what, you're right. I felt really stupid, and I was really stupid. But
yeah.
you live and you learn. Luckily, I
I think
have
that's the
had.
biggest problem is like, you just kind of start barfing out whatever you've been told. And that's the problem with a lot of kids is that,
Yeah,
that's why I think, it's really important to instead of teach ideas, teach logical thinking and
yeah,
asking why. Because I feel like almost anything can
yeah.
be
But can
answered
you?
if you ask why enough times.
Are you gonna expect a
And
public school to teach you to ask
yeah.
questions? Like honestly, let's be honest here.
Ugh.
But they're not gonna. They don't
Poor
want
teacher.
students asking
Oh,
questions.
they're getting in trouble for just teaching basic history because it's making the children sad that their grandpa was a slave owner. I'm like, well,
Oh well.
yeah, but doesn't mean you don't teach them that grandpa was a slave owner. Teach them
Yeah.
to make the world better. What do you mean?
Actually, the truth
I just
is,
find
the
it so
kids aren't even
baffling.
sad about it. They're just like, oh, that's
Okay,
horrible. Yeah, that's the thing. From what
fuck
I've
you,
been,
grandpa.
yeah, pretty much, it's been fuck you, grandpa, and that's why they're mad. They're mad because, like, your generation and the kids growing up now, or and my generation to a point too, are all like, fuck America. Duh, duh, you taught us nothing. You taught us nothing. You screwed the economy. I'm talking about the people who have been in charge for the last 30 years. You screwed over everything for every normal person, every everyday person on this whole godforsaken country. So the best we can hope for is to be middle management and barely make enough to survive and then die. That's the only
thing. There's also all this pressure for people to start having kids because apparently the population is going down. It's like, do you know how expensive it is to have kids now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because that's definitely, like, I had a lot of that this Christmas. Like, it wasn't super hardcore. But as you know, I come from a very large family. The Smiths are very good at reproducing. And my brother Sam just announced their third baby. So Taylor hasn't even given birth yet, and there's already been an announcement for another child on the way. And then I have everybody looking towards me. It's like, oh, you're the only one who hasn't a kid yet. I'm like, I can barely afford to get groceries for the family that I already have, and that's with other people helping me and also working. Like, both me and my mom, like, my mom, she, like, honestly has a hard time paying the bills that exist now, and she's working full-time as a manager.
Yeah.
So, it just baffles me. It's like, and I know they're trying to tease and mean well, but I'm like, do you know how hard it is for people my age to make money right now? Yeah. I'm not going to bring a human into that. And,
you kidding me?
You know, it's baffling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My stepfather literally is doing higher education. The man's in his 50s now. The guy's pursuing higher
my mom's
education.
been doing that. She's going to college online, and she's working, and it's sad because people, it's hard to just get by basically. And why are you doing this, cat? Okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, people are acting like, oh, this is how we do it, or this is whatever, you work hard enough. No, working hard isn't enough. The truth is
that I want to insert that. I wish I could insert that TikTok right now where she's talking about a hypothetical, what was it, 3,000-year-old vampire who's been working full-time his entire life.
Yes, I remember,
like, having that perspective is like, holy sugar.
He still wouldn't have as much money as Jeff freaking Bezos. Like, that makes me wonder, like, what the fuck do the Cullens do for money? I mean, I guess Carlisle being a doctor helps, but you know.
And then you don't have to worry about, like, basic necessities like, you know, food and stuff like that. You can just do whatever you want. You can come over here, Bogey.
No, he's interrupting. You're canceled. You're interrupting. How dare you, sir?
There you go. Also,
I'm kidding, man. You're welcome to be
here. I went
here.
to try to play.
I'll move my screen around here.
Yeah.
I tried to play Skyrim while you were gone, and I accidentally clicked on your character, and I haven't been able to even just get out of it. So I decided I'd just wait till you came back to exit out.
What?
There we go.
I can't exit out of the game. I couldn't figure it out.
I just moved my screen around. I'm sure the audience probably saw me do that. I'm not going to edit it out.
Okay.
But that's just so...
Are you kidding me? Why is everything so simple that I don't understand? Okay.
Instead of pressing continue, press load. Show all saves.
That's what I thought I did. It's okay. I don't even care about playing it anymore. It's only I'm talking now, but okay. that was over. That was a while ago when I was trying to do that. But thank you.
Just messed me.
No, you were showering and it wasn't important.
Hey, what's up, Bogart?
What's up?
We were talking shit about boomers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went from talking about D&D to a rant about boomers.
Speaking his language.
I love D&D.
And talking shit about boomers?
I love D&D. I hate boomers.
But do you love talking shit about them?
Always.
I know. Oh, okay, cool. We're all on the same team here. Team, fuck them. Dude, we're gonna be the weirdest old people. Think about that. Like, think about us when we're like in our 80s and shit. Like, we're gonna be sitting in nursing homes with VR headsets going, "That's right, I still got it." That's
actually,
right.
She still won't be able to know how to use a VR headset.
That's all right.
I'm learning slow. I've told how.
I love you. You know that, right?
Oh, you did bring me back to this spot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But
I was having
that's all right. I can't shoot shit for
that
shit in Halo, so it's all right.
Nostalgia.
We'll all have weak spots.
Yeah, she didn't know that in Skyrim that people would get mad at you if you stole their things.
I'm used to video games where like the other background characters aren't like actual people, and then this one, I'm constantly having people trying to run up and kill me, and I can't get any business done. So they're like, "Hey, fuck you! You stole my gold," and it's like, "Well, yeah, I saw gold on the ground and I picked it up." So, I'm learning. I'm not used to intelligent games. I guess I don't know what the term is.
They're only gonna get
You gotta be
worse.
smarter than the game.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Eventually, like, it's gonna get to where it's like, it's gonna be like Sword Art Online.
Yes, I want that.
Yeah, we're gonna put on a helmet and be in a whole new world. That will be how our generation spends their golden years. We'll be in a tube in the virtual world saying, "Screw this shit! I'm gonna go be, Superman." And
do you ever listen to Mile Higher podcast?
No, I don't.
I should send you an episode. So basically, it's a married couple and the woman's cousin who do it, and they talk about a lot of stuff. And there's one episode where they were talking about that type of stuff, like what their kids would be up to, and it hit close to home because they're right now trying to have kids. She deals with fertility issues, but she was getting genuinely upset. Like, I don't want my kids putting computer chips in their brain. I'm not letting them do that. And I'm thinking, oh, honey, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, you may not have a choice in that matter. Your kids are going to do it willingly. They're going to be like, yeah, but how am I going to play Halo 16 if I don't put that chip in my brain?
Yeah. Honestly, I give such little craps. Like, I think I'm going to be that, like, old lady who's too comfortable with technology. Like, even though I don't understand it, I just very much have that attitude of, like, I might not understand it, but I know the professional scientists do, and I'll just do whatever they suggest I do. I have my whole family that's like, oh, you shouldn't take this or that vaccine. I'm like, well, my doctor said I should, so I did, and I'm not a doctor. Like, I very much, when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, I don't
it's over my head, and I
By the time all that stuff comes out, I'll still be waiting for the newest Game of Thrones book.
The rest of us will still be waiting for a PS5.
You think Half-Life 3 is ever coming out? I don't think it's coming out.
Oh,
no, it's definitely coming out this year, bro.
Dude, if I ever become a billionaire, I'm gonna buy Harry Potter. I'm gonna buy the rights to Harry Potter just so I can say "fuck you, J.K. Rowling," and then just be like, "Now I'm gonna fix your sequels to the story." Yeah, that lady is horrible, and I'm gonna change some characters around just to piss off conservatives even further. Like, if I ever become a billionaire, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna make Hermione black, just to watch people lose their fucking mind. Conservatives will be like really pissed off. Be like,
don't you know that's redhead oppression? Don't do that.
You know what? I'm gonna make Ron black too.
You did Hermione, not Ron.
Hermione is a redhead too.
No, I think she has more like auburn hair or something like that. It's like a reddish brown in the books.
Still red,
if I remember right.
Whatever.
You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna make Ron black and have him have red hair just to watch them get real pissed off. I'm sorry. I laugh about it every time because conservatives get so pissed off when they change the race of a character when the race was never relevant to their story.
Wow, making the black guy poor again? Wow. Pretty racist.
Oh, damn it. I forgot that. You know what? That's all right. We'll fix Ron's situation.
So now Ron is rich.
Yes. Oh, goodness. That's but yeah, like, seriously though, like, it's just the thing, like, I remember there were, like, when it was announced that there's gonna be a new Iron Fist that's Asian, and I remember some people in the comic book community got so pissed off. They're like, well, Danny Rand's the Iron Fist, not this guy. I'm like, Danny Rand was a problematic character to begin with, so... So basically, it's just kind of like people get mad about some of the stupidest things. Like, they're fictional characters. Get over it. I remember the comic book community. Like, if you like, stay away from comicbook.com's Facebook like comment section. My God, that place is a nightmare. There's an actor apparently in the Batwoman show. That's going to be this show's Joker, and it's a black man. and they were talking about how, oh yeah, this is the first black Joker, and that, oh my god, that comment section.
I thought that was Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart was the first black Joker. What? Was he supposed to play the Joker in a movie or something? Like, really?
No, just that he's a comedian.
Oh. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Damn it, Bogart, you're making jokes that go over my head. I feel like that was a self-burn in more than one way, but you'd have to know that I'm a short guy to get that joke. Anyway. Anyway, I was saying, but yeah, like this, the comment section was a fucking nightmare. Like, they're talking about, like, literally all I read, every other comment was the phrase forced diversity. And all I could think to myself was, oh, so you're just basically using a dog whistle to tell everybody that you're racist. Good to know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, it's a fucking nightmare. That's their comments about the CW. I'm like, I get that people don't like some of this stuff in the CW because, like, you know, some of the stories are kind of corny.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
And the seasons just keep coming.
I mean, look, I like The Flash. Don't judge me.
I don't.
I liked Arrow too, but the point is like, you know, the point that I'm getting at is like people are getting like vehemently angry about like shit that just doesn't matter. Like they're mad about superhero, like people of color versions of classic superheroes, and I'm like, who cares? It was never integral to their story, and it's not like they changed. Like they got a new person under the suit. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they took, you know, like there's a new Batman that's black, and I think he's the son of
Fox.
Yeah, I can't remember. I couldn't remember his name. I was gonna say Morgan Freeman's character. I was gonna say Morgan Freeman. Anyway, yeah, and he's the new Batman right now, and at least I think that's what is what they're doing with it. And
yeah, it's in the future where like Batman was like basically condemned and like everyone was trying to get him, and Bruce Wayne basically retired, I think.
Yeah. So basically Lucius Fox's kid takes over the mantle of Batman, and I saw people on Twitter getting mad about it, and I'm like, why do you care? It's not like they took Bruce Wayne and made him a different person. They just said, okay, he's Batman. This guy's Batman now instead of Bruce Wayne.
The same way how Superman's son was bi or gay.
Yeah, and they threw a hissy fit over that too. It's like, golly. And then, of course, they don't have and half of them don't have the intelligence to know the difference. You know, so they're like, you can't make Bruce Wayne black, or you can't make Clark Kent gay, and it's like, they didn't do either of those things. They simply made a new character who happens to be taking up the mantle of this already established hero. To, you know.
Oh, sweet baby. Oh, you guys are too cute. Oh,
Anyway.
Little polka dot one's giving its mama's kisses.
At least Corona isn't trying to eat one.
Oh, jeez. Krona, she's usually a jerk, but she seems to be good mama, at least in the beginning stage.
Yes.
I gotta get her fixed, though. This has to be her last litter. I love her, but she gets grouchy.
She's a grouchy pregnant kitty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, more so, she's even worse when she's not pregnant.
Podrick.
Yeah, she Podrick, her grandson, who's still like a tiny little thing, she fucking slapped him. She's crazy.
Like, it wasn't like Podrick was fucking bothering her. It was premeditated.
Yeah, he was just sitting there.
I was holding Podrick in the kitchen. Corona went up to me and like took a little interest. I like put Podrick a little down like an inch, and Corona like went on my leg to look up and like looked at Podrick for a second, then just bitch slapped him.
She's just like, screw this kitten. That's your grandbaby. That's how boomers feel about the rest of us.
I don't give a shit about my grandchild.
Yeah, I did restart the game for you.
I know, I could tell because I have my old uniform on and I haven't pissed anybody off yet, so that's real cool.
Oh, yeah, you're back at Helgen, so that's...
Yeah.
That's, honestly, that's perfect.
But yeah, like, that's literally how, like, I feel like that's boomers, how they feel about it. It's like, screw all of you, back in my day.
Ooh,
and it's like, bro, back in your day, you know, you were better paid for your economy. Fucking assholes.
Oh, wait. Oh, back here.
Oh my
Yeah, this is literally right after the dragon attacked.
I got you.
So I was
Yeah, at least the
telling Carissa that I'm thinking I'm gonna learn how to DM so I can, like, you know,
Fuck
be
it.
a dungeon master for D&D, because I feel like that's the only way I'm gonna get to play right now is if I just, you know, say fine, fuck it, I'll be the DM. I'll figure out the story and stuff like that.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, and it's like,
If you're doing it online, I'll join.
there we go. That's my idea. My idea is to start like just try to do like online campaigns. I was telling her. And one of the reasons I want to do this is because I want to collab with other D&D content creators on TikTok. But you know, there's only, you know what I mean, and by that, or right now, the only thing I can do is duet their stuff and ask them to duet mine and all that stuff. And as I'm a smaller creator, I don't feel like, you know, it's like I can't go to Alec the Bard, who's got like I think 1 million followers on TikTok for his weird bard character who's like, you know, a horny bard, and go, hey, I'd like you to duet some of my vampire characters stuff.
I was helping Carissa make a character. I told her that bards were basically like the stereotypical horny person, and she's like, I'm not the bard.
I seduce people, and that's my power.
I chose rogue.
I'm unbeatably
like...
sexy.
Although her character would die in an instant.
Listen, I didn't want to give myself stuff that I don't have in real life. Why is that so hard to understand?
So what you're saying is in real life you would die in an instant?
Yes! Of course I would. Look at me.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
That's okay.
My favorite aspect of D&D is the role-playing.
Yeah,
that's my favorite part.
That's what we were discussing earlier, is like it's a chance for us to, because we're all thespians.
Yes.
That's literally, I actually, and I explained that for the audience at home. I was like, oh, for y'all who don't know, it's just a grown-up theater kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, also it kind of sounds like lesbian, and I feel like that'll trigger some right-wingers, which is always half the fun.
Oh my gosh.
Bunch of fucking liberals.
I hate lesbians.
I'm gonna get more food.
Alright, I'm gonna be right here.
Let's
I'll
just
move this here for now.
Let's face it, let's face it, that's half the fun of doing all this stuff. If we're gonna make content, we might as well piss off the conservatives while we're at it.
Bogart is the worst at making any form of content, but he's very much into interacting with stuff, and he doesn't usually understand why I'm the way I am, and I have to document every second of my life, but he's learning. But like, his entire thing is he will go on either Facebook or TikTok on any political stuff and argue with boomers. He will do that for hours straight.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's funny, and then other times I want to punch him in the face because it's like, hey, can you help me finish dinner? And it's like 10 more minutes, and he'll just be doing this until somebody blocks him. And it's like, I don't get it either, but at the same time, we all have our sticks, and at least he's bullying the right people, so I don't care.
Well, you know, I used to when I was younger, I was the same way, but only for me it was on Facebook. You know, arguing with boomers was, you know, like when I was like, I want to say around like 27, 28, like that was my pastime, was arguing with boomers. And I was like just barely like a liberal at that time, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now I'm a full-blown progressive, and I realize that they don't...
Rogatoni.
Yeah.
Did you make that, or mom and dad?
I made it.
Oh, okay. So usually mom doesn't make pasta anymore. That's cool.
Yeah.
You might as well eat it all, because mom and I won't, and I think dad's going to be leaving soon again.
But yeah, anyway. I'm actually really excited. I really want to get into it because, like, my vampire character is fun, but he's, like, only going to be good as, like, an NPC anyway. Like, I can't really... I got to play him once in, like, as a one-shot type of thing. And, I don't know if they let us be... They basically, what they did was, they let me be a vampire, but the rule is that, they use Dampier stats to figure out, like, the math side of it. You know, so they just, okay, we'll use Dampier to figure out how your physical stuff works, and then what we'll do is, as you level up, you'll remember you have this vampire power. So, like, my vampire character had, like, amnesia or something. Yeah, that was his backstory, and that's the character that inspires William on my TikTok. You know, because I don't know if Chris has shown you any of that stuff, but I put on my vampire get up and do all that.
Maybe you saw it when you've stolen my phone before, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Bogart, I don't think you follow me on TikTok, so. I know you're following me on Instagram, but I don't think you follow me on TikTok.
I don't think so. I follow you on YouTube.
You follow me on YouTube? That's like the most boring place I'm at. No, I'm just kidding. It's a horrible joke. But yeah.
No, because I use Bogey's YouTube when I'm on this computer because I'm not going to like bother logging it out since I'm not posting on there or anything, obviously. So I like see his entire For You page and it's really random. It's either all political, cooking, or random nerd.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Mine's all that too. Just add a little bit of horny.
Man after my own heart.
At least I'm honest about it. Like, you know, the truth is, like, TikTok has discovered that I have a very specific type. They're like, hey, here's a nerdy, attractive person.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, I'll appreciate that. Click, move on.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just just give them a heart and move on to the next video. Like, nice. Move on. But yeah, you get the idea. Like, it's the same thing. Also, politics comes up a lot on my For You page too. Like, sometimes like Carissa sends me like random stuff all the time, and sometimes she'll send me a political video, and I'm like, oh, I've already seen that.
You never know, so I always am like, hey, you know what?
I follow a bunch of political accounts, and I love getting into debates online.
Yeah, Carissa was telling us that too. I was like, oh, I remember that phase of my life.
Ben's,
that phase started at 12 and just hasn't stopped.
Yeah, for me, it died at like 29. I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this nonsense. I have other stuff to work on. It's different when you're a content creator. You're thinking, man, I'm wasting time arguing with this dipshit. So I'm just gonna forget it. I'm gonna report him for his racist shit if he said something racist, and then I'm just gonna go on. That's literally how I do it. Like, sometimes I leave comments, but I just don't take my time to argue with dumb people. Because I just don't have the time for that. I'm in the middle of always working on something.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how I feel about it. I just report them and go away. Although I did get into a debate recently. I sent it to Carissa. There was like a moving company that was doing some like underhand
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And, yeah, turns out I was right. The guy tried to claim that, like, I ended up arguing with a guy in the comment section, and I was talking about how, yeah, the cops got called because the guy locked a girl in the back of the truck, of the moving truck.
So fucked up.
Yeah, the driver.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah, you saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy I got into an argument with was trying to say that, like, oh, well, you know what? She's trespassing. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. And because it was a rental, like, because the guy works for a moving company, right? But the truck was a rental truck from a company that rents trucks to people. So basically, he didn't own the truck either. You know what I mean? And it turns out he wasn't even the one who rented the truck. He was basically just hired to drive the vehicle and drop the shit off. That's what he was hired to do.
Oh my god.
So basically, he wanted more money, and he threatened these people that he was going to take, for the audience at home who don't know. Basically, he said, if you don't give me X more money that's not in the contract for them to pay more money, I'm going to take all your stuff and not give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the lady said, no, that's not happening. So the one of the roommates jumped in, started like unloading the truck herself. Like, screw you, I'm just going to unload it myself. I'm not paying you extra just because, you know. And and apparently, like, there was like something in the contract that the guy could only charge 10% more or something like that. Yeah, because I watched the whole, like, follow-up. Like, I literally read every update in the comment section from that from the poster, as well as, like, the follow-up videos. I got really heavily invested in this story. By the way, and now that guy has to go to court because he unlawfully imprisoned somebody. That was his crime.
Idiot.
Yeah, pretty much. And the other guy in the comment section who was trying to say that I was wrong for calling the driver a criminal, because he's the one who went over the line and imprisoned a person against their will. And had he drove off with that lady in the back of the truck, it would have been escalated to kidnapping. Yeah. So basically, and then he tried to tell me, like, you don't call the cops for bad service. This isn't how you handle that. And I'm like, it is when you overstep the line.
Yeah.
And then he tried to say, well, what about at a restaurant? You wouldn't, like, call the cops on a restaurant or for, if they did you
If they
wrong.
tried to poison you, maybe.
That's what I said. I was like, actually, in some cases, you do call the cops. It just depends. Like, if you were really gonna, and he was trying to, like, this would be the equivalent of the manager saying, like, hey, I transferred the food from the kitchen to the counter. I want you to pay me double now. That would be the restaurant equivalent of what happened. Would basically be like you walked into a McDonald's, ordered food, and then they wanted you to pay the same amount of the price you just paid for your food, again for delivering it to the counter.
Sorry.
And then the manager would be blocking you from trying to leave the building. That would be the equivalent for refusing to pay. And it was like, yeah, the guy is clearly in the wrong, not the lady. And it was just a whole debacle. And then once we got the rest of the video and all that stuff, and apparently now there's like a court date for that guy, so he's like, it was very smug satisfaction for me personally. And like this lady didn't get in any trouble at all in this company, now is in trouble, and so is the guy who wrongfully imprisoned that lady. I'm just over here going, gee, who's the villain here again?
I had a guy in comments try and say that the value of the dollar is directly correlated with the population size of the country.
What?
And he tried to say that the Canadian dollar was more value than the American dollar.
I don't know about that.
It's not. It's worth less. That's why there's so many commercials up here that are like, hey, come to Canada where your dollar's worth more.
Yeah, I kept trying to explain to the guy, and I literally sent him things, but he would not accept it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. I've also been seeing a lot of like crazy like religious nuts on TikTok lately. Like yeah. And they're attacking everybody. Like they're going after like all of witch talk, all of pagan talk, all of like LGBT and politics and stuff like that. I've literally been watching, like, it's been all over the place. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, you are new. I haven't seen one of these before. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, she's fighting a skeleton.
I did not know there was those in this game. That spooked me.
Oh, skeletons, you say? I'm gonna put that in my campaign now.
Please do. Oh, there's another one.
Actually, I think the fun part will be the storytelling aspect of being a dungeon master. I think that'll be the fun part. I was telling Carissa that what I think I'm going to do is, because I'll be a new dungeon master, I'm going to try to find the most simplest way to play Dungeons and Dragons as I can. You know what I mean? Like, I'll allow the players to play whatever races are available that they want, you know what I mean? And try to look into, like, numbers and stuff of that to keep track of things. But ultimately, what I really want to do is try to keep it as simple as I can on the numbers side of it, and then try to just tell a good and fun story, and hopefully everybody will have a good time.
Yeah, when I was DMing for my friends, I had them do, like, this little murder mystery in the town, and, like, they realized, like, who the killer was.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, after this huge battle, they completely forgot that they had all the evidence, and he literally just walked free.
Oh my god.
You're such a petty bitch.
I would have gone full murder hobo as a player, and they're like, nah, screw this shit. Ah! That's okay. I'm a rogue. I'm allowed to be a little, shall we say, shady. I think I'm funny. Anyway. Yeah, for my vampire character, William, I chose a rogue. It just kind of made sense because, like, they wear, like, a lot of, like, face covering clothes as it is. From what I've been reading, like, vampires aren't very, what do you call it? Or dampiers, I should say, are very, like, they creep people out, basically. And they look human, but they, they got vampire features. And even though my character was a like full vampire, because of for some weird reason for this campaign they let me do that, but it just made sense for him to be a rogue because like they get to wear face coverings and stuff like that, so they don't creep people out as easily, and you know also like with the power set that like vampires have, it just kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Like being able to be like sneaky. And even though like I also like the way William's character is, like honestly I could also argue he probably would have some stuff like in fighter because he's like he's not afraid of a fist fight, but that's just because he's stupidly strong. Which actually kind of makes sense. Vampire, kind of makes sense. He'd be like, oh yeah, here, let me move that boulder out of the way for you.
My favorite class is wizard, but like a lot of the classes that I tend to like play, like the last few were paladin and cleric.
Oh, so my character would not like any of those guys. William would be like,
but I do like I always like spin it off. So my paladin was an Oathbreaker paladin.
Oh, okay. So he's a little darker.
Who ends up hating the church that he originally served, and my cleric was a drunk cleric who didn't actually know which god gave them their powers.
That almost makes it more fun, I think.
Yeah, because like I would want him to find out what god is giving him his powers.
Oh, it's kind of like how William had memory loss, and then like every time he leveled up, he'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute, I forgot, I can turn into mist, can't I?" Or I think actually it's funny is my character actually didn't live for very long in that campaign either. Like technically William, or the version of William from that campaign that the TikTok version is inspired from, he got his head bitten off by a werewolf.
Oh.
Yeah, game over. Literally, homp. And the reason why is because I panicked. I was like, "Well, if the werewolf's already got my sword and he's still physically stronger than me, because the DMs decided the werewolf was going to be physically stronger than me, even though I was the physically strongest person in the party. Apparently, if I remember, he pinned me against a wall and I couldn't move. My character couldn't move, so he's like, "Well, what are you going to do?" I'm like, I'm going to bite him."
Oh my god.
I rolled a 1, got a mouthful of fur, and then the werewolf bit me back.
Oh. when I was playing with my two friends, oops. Kitties are crying. There was this one time while they were fighting against these little basically like fish people. And then like this huge monster came out in the swamp. So it was their two characters plus like my NPC plus player character because they need the help. Like, so eventually like one of them decides to use a special attack and just screams "fuck you" and fucking kills the guy in the nat 20. The next person, my friend Z, they killed up the next person, screaming "fuck you," following the next person. Then I go with my character to roll my attack against the big monster guy. I had to say "fuck you," roll, natural 1.
Oh.
I have him like a trip. And I give the monster like attack of opportunity. Who the fuck cares? Shit. Rolls natural 20 on the fucking attack against the NPC character. Throws the guy 30 feet across the swamp and knocks him out.
Oh my god. That's the only thing that's kind of like, that's the funny thing about it is like the dice rolls. Like what's really funny, especially for my William character, like the version that the TikTok one is inspired by. I'm reiterating that for the audience in case because I know But the point is, like, it's funny because like when they had me figuring out my stats, they used Dampier as the race use the numbers from them to figure out my stats, right? But they had me roll dice to determine how strong I'd be. And I kept getting high rolls on everything. So I was level 1 and physically the most powerful character in the party. They're all, by the way, this is a campaign they've already started. I'm just a one-shot. I'm just here for one little part of the adventure. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm level 1 and I'm the strongest person there. They're like level 8 or something like that. They're not even double digits yet. but I'm still level 1 and physically tougher than all of them, and then I die because of a werewolf bite to the head.
Ouch.
Like, literally, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, here, let me just... Gone. I was like, are you...
And another thing that happened, like, my friend Z, they captured a Goliath. And Goliath was, like, really sexist, so, Z, when everyone else was gone, decided to cut the guy's dick off.
Is Goliath, was he an NPC or a player?
He was an NPC.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so,
that makes me feel a
then,
little
like,
less.
my NPC, which was, the cleric, drunk guy, like, in order to get the Goliath to help them, the cleric basically promised to heal his dick back on, and he basically said, I quote, this is simple cleric magic. Cracks my fingers.
It's like, alright. Don't worry, guys, I got
Also-
this. We're gonna...
Also, I just cracked my knuckles by instinct, so I didn't realize what I had done until my friend Zeeple started fucking laughing out loud, crying.
Is there a
Simple
thing where
cleric
the clerics do something crazy when they pop their knuckles?
I
don't know. I'm honestly just picturing this dude, like, with a bottle of glue going, alright, I got this.
Simple cleric magic. Crack.
And just like, there you go. It's back on. That's what I pictured anyway. Oh my goodness. I'm excited about it.
One of my like potential like character ideas like was a wizard who also had amnesia. Like a old like a half elf guy like
so basically
laying
like,
around with
yeah, because then he gets to be like, oh, I remembered I'm powerful. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. If you want to play that route.
essentially it was like him laying around, fire all around him, people dead, and there's a note next to him that just says run.
That would mean, oh, I need to get the hell out of here. That's what that would mean. Okay.
Yeah. See like what the fuck happened to this guy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like the amnesia thing was just a way for them to like explain why there's a random vampire helping the party. Which actually kind of makes sense because like amnesia can go a whole bunch of different ways. Like you could forget that he's evil or something if they needed it that way to be.
Jeez.
I saw
Right.
one thing on TikTok I really think I might want to try that seems like really be really fun is having an NPC be the big bad at the end of the whole campaign. But they've been with the party the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been really looking at that and going, oh, that's kind of an interesting idea. Like, because like there's so many ways you could do that. Like, if, for example, let's say a dragon is the big villain of your, you know what I mean, is going to be the big problem of your story or whatever. Like, oh, you have a dragon infestation, right? Well, then they find a baby dragon or a dragon egg. So then, like, so a member of the party takes care of the dragon because the baby dragon is cute, right? And then, you know, as the party goes, the dragon just kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then by the end, they've killed the mama dragon, who was the problem causing, that they thought was the big bad at the end of the thing, causing all the problems. But then it turns out, nope, it's actually the baby dragon, which is more powerful, and now you all have to go kill this dragon that you've basically raised throughout the entire campaign. I don't know if I would use this particular one, but that's the one that really sticks out to my mind. I was like, how cool would that would be like a really interesting, like, no character development story. Like, you know, basically it'd be like, oh yeah, you have to kill your pet because your pet's rabid. It's kind of like an old Yeller with a wolf instead of a dog story.
Yeah, in a D&D game, I think like one of the best like ways to like play the villains is like not just like big bad evil guy go and fight him. I think like the villain like should be like it would be best if they're smart, intelligent, and they can just mess with the party and trick them.
Yeah.
Like one of the games that I was running, like my entire plan was the villain was to have the players end up doing getting stuff that the big bad evil guy wanted in order for him to like finish his evil plots and have like them not realize it.
Oh, okay. So like they go and get the blood of a dragon, they go get the scales from a chimera or something, you know. And that's like it's for ingredients for this big spell he's gonna cast or something.
Yeah, so like have like trick them into thinking that these are the items that they need to in order to stop him. But in reality, they're exactly what they need for him to complete it, and he doesn't even have to like risk his life to do it.
Or pay them, because they'll be dead. I'm sorry, no, that was just kind of a... Looks like my inner rogue came out there for a minute. Yeah, I see what you did. You made us collect this shit because you didn't want to have to pay us at the end of the job. I feel like that's something a rogue would say. You just wanted to avoid paying us, you jackass. I don't know. Also, like for my TikTok, you know, the story for William is that he was a Dampier. I guess I'll go ahead and tell the story here because you know you're not too familiar with him. But I'm sure you've seen me dressed up as a vampire on TikTok before. I'm sure.
I think I have once.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about at least. Yeah. So that is my Dungeons and Dragons character that I just said. Okay, alternate reality where he lived. But the background for his story is he was born a Dampier. Family was murdered by paladins because of what he is. You know, because they were trying to kill William. And I felt that just kind of made sense because I feel like people who are holy, you know what I mean, is bound to have a handful of, you know, at least a percentage of their population be hypocrites. You know? And be using their divine power to do, you know, extortion and wrong and be bigoted. So basically the idea is like, you know, so William has to run away because they kill his mom and adoptive father because they're trying to kill William. And of course, obviously what parent's going to let, you know, what do you call it? A religious zealot kill their child, you know. They die in the process. He gets away. He, you know, joins a group of rogues, learns how to be a rogue because his unique physiology just is suited for it, being a Dampier. And then he kind of has this, like as he grows older, he kind of blames his dad, who's a vampire, because, you know, you're the reason why my mom's dead because those religious guys wanted to kill me. Because you couldn't keep it in your pants. So basically the first thing is he blames his dad. Gets his butt kicked by his dad. Becomes a full vampire. Tries to fight him again. You know what I mean? And through that story, the idea is like he kind of lucks into being a good guy. Because William has a very unique item. He has a daylight ring. Because remember I mentioned he became a full vampire. And the way he did that was he made a deal with a chick who was already a full vampire. You know, because, you know, they can turn regular people into one. Why not turn somebody who's a half one into one? And he just gets the perk of, oh, because I was a Dampier, I don't have to be your slave. Because I think that there's a hierarchy in vampires too. If I recall what I read correctly. So the idea is like, so my reasoning is like, oh, because he was a Dampier before he was a full vampire, that's why he's not a slave. And the idea is like, he goes to get an edge to beat his dad, so he goes hunting for a weapon that's going to give him the edge, and he's like, a daylight ring. That will give me the edge, because I can fight him in the daytime. Where all vampires and Dampiers have problems with the daytime, so... But the daylight ring has a very unique side effect. So he goes, and the story is funny. I came up with was really funny. William got his daylight ring from a dragon in a cave. William tried to slay the dragon to get the ring. William gets all his clothes burnt off, and he's basically naked and pissed off. And then instead of attacking the dragon, he cusses the dragon out. And then the dragon laughs at him because he finds it hilarious that this naked vampire basically is just like, crime. Is just sitting there like, you big stupid lizard, you piece of frickin' words I can't say on YouTube because I would get. And then of course, you know, this dragon. Imagine if this like tiny human was sitting there cursing at you. You'd just be like. So the dragon found it so amusing, he just gave William the daylight ring.
Oh my god.
He's like, all right. You know what? It's like it's the weakest item here That's mine. If all you
It
want
says
is
lock.
the daylight ring, then I will
Okay.
just give it to you. So basically, yes, he
Nope.
gets the daylight ring by pure dumb luck, essentially. And
Hmm.
then, but when he puts the ring on, it has a very unique side effect, and that side effect is that it restores his soul, because vampires are kind of soulless and kind of bad guys, in general. So, which the dragon kind of knew this. So there's also a little bit of that too, because I figured, you know, it'd be kind of boring for the dragon to be on the bad guys team. So, so basically, William becomes a good guy because his soul gets put back in him, you know. And of course, the daylight ring has other side effects, yeah, he's doesn't have all the weaknesses that a lot of vampires have. You can still stake him and kill him that way. Beheading will still do it, you know. So some of those more brutal ways to kill him. If you have a weapon that actually is just designed to kill undead people, yes, that will kill him too. But he doesn't get killed by sunlight. Water doesn't cause him any damage at all. It's just water to him. And then, like, the other thing is like, but he also lost a lot of his vampire powers. So he went from like, oh yeah, I am as powerful as Dracula would be in most fiction to like, you know, around the power level of like someone like Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
So he's strong, he's sneaky, he's fast, he can climb walls no problem, that kind of thing. So he's very physically imposing, but he can't like, you know, make you do his bidding by looking into his eyes, that kind of thing, like Dracula can. You know.
Let him eat Strahd.
Yeah. The idea is like he's not William's not that type of vampire. He's just not he's not and the truth is, even when he had some of those abilities, he didn't really use them. He also can't like turn into animals or turn into smoke. So basically he lost a lot of his powers. But I figured, you know, that would be like this character, like, because that's the thing is, like, I wanted William to be a good guy vampire, so it just kind of made sense to put him around a power level that made sense. So
Yeah.
that's where I put him at. So he could still regenerate. Like if you like shot him with an arrow or something and he pulls it out, he doesn't stay wounded. You know, so you gotta do a lot of damage for him to stay injured. So he got to keep that. He also still has to drink blood, but animal blood will suffice, and he's very like particular about that.
Uh-huh.
I also for William when he has a. I thought it would be very fun for and very good character development. So one of the reasons why he doesn't drink the blood of like sentient people, like he'll drink the blood of like a deer or a lion or something like that. You know, something that's just an animal with instincts. But like he won't drink the blood of like someone who's like an elf or a gnome or a orc or anything like that, because it's like those are sentient people, and the reason why is because he sees their memories. So like this is one of the like I had this one like TikTok story where it's like where he in a blind rage he like bit a warlock, you know what I mean, to kill him, and then he got to see all of the warlock's memories. So he sees the guy he was before he was a villain, you know what I mean? So it's like he lived his life for a second there, and he's like, oh god, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, because when you think about it, like, no, I don't think anyone ends up like in the real world. I don't think people end up evil necessarily, like just out of their, you know, blind choices. I think something happened to them that made them pick that path. In most cases, like they were taught something, or like the saying, "Hurt people hurt people."
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I believe that, I thought it would make sense in his story. So that's why William like prefers to either drink the blood of animals, or there's also a potion he goes to. Either like in his story, there's like a potion master who makes him like a fake blood that's made with magic. So he drinks that instead. And then of course if he drinks that, he's allowed to, you know, get drunk on mead like the rest of the mortals. So I thought that would be anyway, that's William in a nutshell. And then like the idea is like he did a lot of bad stuff as a Dhampir rogue and as a vampire. Like he, you know, hurt people when he didn't get his way, that kind of thing. So the idea is like now that's the reason why he's an adventurer, is because he's like, well, I've spent my first, you know, most of my life being a dickhead, so now I've got to make up for it, type of thing. That one I also personally might be a little bit of symbolism too, because I used to be conservative, so I know that now that I'm progressive, it's like, me and him relate now. Yeah, that might be a more fantastical way of doing it. In my case, it was words. In his case, it was actions. But still, same guilt there. You know how it is. Yeah. So basically, the idea is like that's the way Williams' character is. He's basically like this guy who feels like he's doomed to adventure and fight evil for all of eternity. So that's basically what he does. He's literally like Spike and Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's a good show.
Yeah. I like it. Man, James Masters' Spike is fucking hilarious. Did you ever see the one where Angel got turned into a puppet?
No, I've only seen a few episodes. No, like entire seasons.
Oh man, the puppet one, it was hilarious. Like, Angel's like, he's in an office building, he's like, what are you all looking at? And they're like, and Spike's just like, they're looking at the wee little puppet man. Because somehow, through magic, Angel, this badass vampire hero, gets turned into a 3-foot-tall puppet man.
Oh.
Still maintaining all of his vampire powers, by the way.
Oh my god, that's so dumb.
Oh, I know, but it was it's my favorite episode of like the entire series because it's just so funny to me. Because they're stopping a group of demons that, in order to have a physical form in our plane of existence, they took the form of puppets, like the Muppets, or like the from Sesame Street. Not even kidding. Like, they're legit evil demons, but their physical form on our plane is is puppets, like on those shows.
I need to watch that show again.
Oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. It cracks me up. Oh, if you have Hulu, you can probably just Google the episode and just go straight to it. It's hilarious to me. It's like the funniest thing ever. Spike just cracks me up. I love all the one-liners. Anyway, guys, sorry I gushed on D&D stuff for a minute. I just kind of took over there for a second.
Oh, Bogey loves that stuff.
Yeah.
Oop.
Well, I just I felt like I had to do all that detail stuff to kind of make it make sense that a vampire would be a good guy. You know, because I know in D&D, like, vampires are like kind of forced to be villains. From what at least that's what I read. Anyways, like their alignment is always bad guy.
Yeah, but C&D, it's whatever we want it to be.
Oh, okay. So it's not. So basically, I'm not all that weird for wanting to have a character who's traditionally villainous be a good guy.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
like,
I just wish I didn't have to homebrew everything.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's annoying is like, because I know like I know that D&D has like they have like stats and stuff already for a lot of stuff. Like, they have, like, already, like, a way to do stats for, like, Dhampir, but they don't really have a thing for Vampire. They only have them as, like, monster stats. So it's
Jesus
like,
Christ.
so it's either
The bandits.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of is, I guess because you can, from somebody who's very new to it, looking in, I think you only have 2 ways to go about it to play a vampire stat-wise. You either make them the broken monster that they are.
Oh, the nurse is coming.
Oh, one second.
Where's this nurse?
Enemies are on your screen now, like on the red.
How am I supposed to get to him?
You go around.
Oh, it's a her. Sorry, I have to kill you, man. We could have been lesbians.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only 2 ways I think of when you could like stat-wise make a vampire character. You either do what I did, where it was like, oh, we'll just use Dhampir stats and we'll like use memory loss to give you back your vampire powers, so so you're not too stupid through the campaign, which didn't matter because I died at level 2 or something.
Yeah.
for that particular campaign. But I'm thinking like for a newer one for vampires, you either go with the monster stats, which they're like stupidly broken because you're supposed to kill a vampire like that with a whole party, so, or you would just take the Dhampir stats and then go ahead and just times 2. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, well then we'll just, since you're a full vampire, we'll just, that's the only way I can do it. That I can think of that would make sense.
For anything customizable, I usually like just go online because like there are like a few websites that have like entire classes built around like different things, like different races and stuff. Like there's this one online website like I found like a Kingdom Hearts like Keyblade class that you can do. Yeah, so like
I've also been seeing a
like
lot of people doing stuff like that. Like, oh, well, what would I do if I wanted to play as Trevor Belmont in D&D? You know what I mean? Like, I've seen stuff like that where they go, okay, well, he's this main class, this subclass, and they're like, you know, they do stuff like that too.
believe that's Tulak the Barbarian. I'm subscribed to him.
Yeah. I just was thinking, like, you know, there's like been a few things I've seen like on TikTok and stuff of that, but like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, well, how would I go if I wanted to play this character or that character, you know, which I think is cool because I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, if your favorite character in the whole world is Iron Man and you want to play Iron Man as Iron Man in Dungeons and Dragons, cool, play as Iron Man in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't even care if you call him Tony Stark and this is just, you know, he's a medieval artificer. You know what I mean? I don't care, honestly. I think it just adds more fun. You know? That's just me personally. Although I do know that there are some people that seem like they're real sticklers for that. They're like, no, you got to make an original character, and I'm like, I don't get the gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if they're
You
inspired
can
by
level up.
Oh, cool.
Like, honestly, who cares if they're inspired by popular media? You know what I mean? Like, we all have something. Like, what if Carissa here wanted to play as, what's her name? Alice from Twilight. You know what I mean? You're like, you know, honestly, like, who... Honestly, if she wants to play a character that's inspired by Alice from Twilight, who cares?
Sorry, how do you choose stuff? One sec.
What do you want to choose? Like the.
I was gonna do sneak because I'm not good at that yet. That's pretty low.
You gain seeking not by like adding this, but you by like sneaking.
Okay, I don't understand, but I'll pretend I do.
Do you want to put a perk in sneak or maybe something else?
I don't care. Whatever you think.
Whatever you want.
I don't know how this game works.
You probably want to kill more things, not to dial. So, do more damage.
Well, you know what? We've been talking for a little over an hour, so why don't I go ahead and wrap the episode up, and then we'll just call that enough for the first episode in 2022.
Oh God, think about that. It's been another year.
2022. Oh, no. It's been 22 years since 2000.
Oh God, don't remind me. I was 10. It was simpler time. Anyway. Anyway, guys, this has been Nerd After Hours. We actually did go full nerd. I think most of the episode was dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons. So.
Yes, my favorite thing.
This video is going to end up being titled something like Kittens, Hating on Boomers, and Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We talk about all sorts of nerdy stuff. You know, we talk superheroes, video games, books, comic books, all of it. We're kind of a all-around nerd stuff. So make sure you subscribe. If you made it this far, you're a champion. My goodness. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.